Welcome back, Hooks and Hammers. Today, again, we are working on the Islander 188 Baja. Today, we are working on the hubs. I got one of the hubs right here. Sorry we can't show you from the beginning. I lost the footage, but we had this hub removed. We cleaned out all the grease, removed the bearings and the races, installed the new races on both sides. See that new silver or steel down there, and same with right here. Today we're gonna pack the bearings with our packing tool. Here they are, and then reinstall the bearings, the seal, and everything in the hub, and then putting that hub on one on each side of the trailer. So we have a roller again. All right, we put our bearing in our bearing packer and packed our bearing. We're gonna install this bearing here in a second. I'll show you how we do that. Our next step is to drop this greased up bearing into the race. I'm gonna roll it around, work that grease in there. First, we'll drop her in, and then let's get some, roll it around. Take some of that, get that on this outside part. It's inside. I just need to get the outside and cut it a little. All right. Now we're gonna get the seal and hammer in the seal on this back side. We'll show you doing that. We'll flip it around and do the same thing for the other bearing. All right, now we're gonna place this seal. Make sure it's level. She's level. She is level. All right. We're gonna flip it over. We've got this race. We're gonna lube up. We're gonna put the other bearing in there. Once we pack it with grease, which we're about to do, and we'll start putting this guy back on. We'll be back here in a second. Making a mess. All right, we got our packed bearing. Now, what we need to do is get some of this extra grease and smear it down in here. We're gonna take a lot of this glob and get as much of that down in there. Make sure all surfaces are coated with grease. We're gonna put this bearing down in there. Work some grease around in there. Get as much off your fingers as you can. A lot more of this grease. I'm gonna pack 2 more bearings, but this one is just about done. We're gonna slap this onto the rim. And first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get some oil on this. We're gonna lube it up a little bit, all the surfaces. Make sure it's got good lube on it. We're not gonna put a lot, but we are definitely gonna try to coat all the surfaces, because I did a really good job cleaning this. So I'm going to make sure that there's no rust that forms in between this surface and the next. Doesn't have to be a whole lot, like I said, but we're working this around, giving all the surfaces just a light coating. We're gonna slide this thing on. This front bearing might slide up. Oh yeah, baby. Yep. Yep. That was perfect. All right, so first thing I did, I can't get it off now, but the washer, I put the D-washer on there. Now I'm gonna put the castle nut. All right, so how I did this was I tightened the bolt pretty much as hard as I could. Not crazy, more like, I shouldn't say as hard as I could, like 50 pounds of pressure. All right, I spun it like that. I saw how stiff it was. I loosened it up. I re-tightened it down to right around 50 pounds of pressure, and then I backed it off a quarter turn, and then it was just a little bit off of where I put the cotter pin in. And because of that, I backed it off just a little bit more. I mean, really hardly any, but just a little bit more, and it matches up right with that hole. I'm gonna put it in. It spins perfect. Spins perfect. No grinding. The brakes are touching just a little bit, but that's for another day. All right, we got the cotter pin in. Last two things we got to do is put the rim on and then put this grease cap.